Hello everyone and welcome to Gierok Farms. Today we are going to be getting the 686 International ready for the corn picker and hopefully be mounting the corn picker here shortly. We're going to service this, change oil filters, fuel filters, and we got to take the weight bracket off, which Dad already started on, the rear fenders, the shield back here, and the step and some other stuff. So we're gonna get this thing stripped down and ready to go. We're filming this now on, I believe it's one of the last days of September. And how long do you think we're picking corn?
Could be a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really drying fast. And the forecast looks like we've been having this nice weather up here forever, I think because of the hurricanes in the south. If it stays warm like this, I think we had frost one time, but I don't think it was very much, and it wasn't everywhere. I haven't looked at it, and I usually don't look at it until it starts looking closer.
It's probably got a black layer already.
Probably. Tip. The best part is it's looking like it's going to be an early harvest, so guys are taking beans off already a few days ago already.
Yeah, and we finished chopping the bulk of corn silage, I think 2 weeks ago now.
And our corn dried up pretty quick compared to some. I think there's like blight and there's other diseases in the leaves, you know, where the plant looks dry. That went quite well. That's probably the quickest, most efficient harvest we had for corn silage in forever.
The rest of fall harvest is fast approaching. We're gonna get this thing switched over, cleaned up, serviced, and hopefully we'll be putting the picker on.
And then these just sit on the table because I think there's going to be anything too crazy that we have to do with this. So I fixed them.
Hydraulics, I think, is good. The oil's been up. We haven't used it for a tremendous amount of stuff, but enough. Short bolt. Are they marked?
We're about halfway through the service and we're about to pull the fenders off. This is a two-man ordeal. I guess you could just drop it, but to get it off nice, it's a two-man ordeal. Oil filters are on their way. Fuel filters, we'll wait to pull those off once we got our oil.
We can probably do them. We gotta wait for them guys.
Yeah.
Then you gotta prime it, of course, and all that stuff anyway.
When you're doing fuel filters, you don't want air in your system. You want to top your fuel filters off and make sure they're full of fuel before you go to start it, because that could be a nightmare otherwise.
Yeah, and here's your pump. Well, we learned how to use all this because I don't know, the fuel gauges ain't always right. That needle's doing this, so then it runs out of fuel. Or these ain't bad because the hole in the tank's in the middle, but those big ones, there's a tank is way off to the side. You get on a side hill, they'll run out. You know, or they'll start losing power. That happened once this summer where I was, then you realize you better turn around or go to more of a leveler spot and just let it kind of catch itself. And then I guess, get home for fuel.
You don't want to run a engine out of fuel, especially a diesel engine.
I think we're gonna have to shut the fuel off. There's actually two. I don't know if that would fit the other way. It's got back and down.
Question for everyone in the comments. How many times can you blow out an air filter before you need to buy a new one?
If you don't tell anybody, you can just keep doing it. Yeah. But then when you put a date on there, then they say, why are you using that old filter?
Yeah.
I think sometimes, it's how you blow them out. You get real crazy with them. I mean, especially on a newer motor, I think it's going to be like that skid steer, that new one. We're not going to want to
Mess around. I know some filters are designed where they're meant to be blown out, but
I think it's just being careful. And like this with the picker, this thing can get full of leaves and everything. So you whisk it all off. There's blow air in here, since depends on who you are.
what you're doing, what it's on. Let us know down in the comments. Okay, we got the 686 all serviced and washed up, and now it's time to start putting on those brackets that are used to mount the corn picker. So we got our extended radiator shields, and then our brackets to shield the front of the tractor from the actual picker, for our PTO here to drive our chains, and then the entire assembly or picker frame, or whatever you want to call it, the drive system.
pretty much what holds it is this. Okay, pretty good. Wrench and ratchet with long should be sufficient. These two, I think, gotta come out. Oh, and then we gotta blow the water out of them holes. Wait. And then this has got to line up right there. So a little more. A little more. One more. There, right there. One more. You don't want to get pressure on them things until you're about right there now. And that's just
Okay, we have all the brackets on the 686 now, and we probably don't have enough time to mount the actual picker itself today, but we have all the brackets on and ready to go. And Dad, he dug out some literature on this new idea corn picker. If any of you know anything about these pickers, make sure to leave plenty of comments down below. We really find that stuff interesting.
I'd like to know, like, the years these came out. This is a 319, and then our back is the 12-row husking bed, which would be, I think it's called a 322. And there was an 8-row, and I want to think the 8-row came out before the 12. And then they show that on what? John Deere, International. I think that's Ellis Chalmers. This, I think, maybe another John Deere. This is an Oliver. So, but they don't really go into detail on all that in this book. This is just an owner's manual and stuff. You know, a little history. It would be kind of neat to know when these came out, and maybe even what the cost was. Yeah. You know, compared to the price of a tractor, because I'm sure when these came out, they were still selling these type of tractors that it mounts on. So 686, my dad had a 656, was a gas job. That's how I knew that this picker was going to be compatible to this. This will fit on our Super MTA, our regular M, and as far as mounting anyway. We do have another mount that everything is adjusted with here and stuff for the Oliver. So in case something major happened to this tractor, we would be able to. And we do have two of these pickers. So one I got off an auction back in, I think, 87 on an auction down by Wamedy. I think it was only like 320 bucks or something. And then the other one in 2010, one of the neighboring farms quit, and I was able to purchase that one. Picked a lot of corn, very, very well cared for. And then the one I got down by Wamedy wasn't quite as well cared for, but I don't think it picked nearly as much corn. So right now, two of them are in working order, and I've got a feeling eventually we'll have to start stealing parts off one to keep the other one somewhat.
Yeah,
which is expected, you know, because
they're old.
They're 50 years old and all that stuff. So,
but we got options. We got tractors we can put them on, and we got.
And it's so economical. So right now, the only cost is our time and the fuel. It will not degrade the price of this tractor if we use this for another 20 years like this. And then, of course, the cribs, it's just such a cheap economics. So that's why we're still going to keep going as long as it's, you know, it's good feed. I mean, it's as long as we're able to do it. So we fill our cribs, and then whatever we don't fit in the cribs, we get a combine to finish up. And
yep. I'd be interested to know from some of you if you have the pole type with a narrow head on it. how well those work in comparison to.
There's not very many around. I know around here, one guy, I know they had a hard time finding it. You know, they go to narrow roll. And that, again, I know we mentioned this in the past, but that's the reason why I'm sticking with wide roll yet. Now, the chopper, that 30-38 head that goes on our chopper, that's why they call it 30-38. You can either go 30-inch or 38-inch. And it came new 30-inch, and I was able to do wide roll corn with a 30-inch head. As long as the corn was all standing nice, it would bend it in and chop it fine. It was actually almost better because it was narrower, different things. But I think one year we had some trouble with the corn. It was a long time ago where it was lodged up, and then we decided we better widen it. And you know, half a day of wrenching, and there you go. So there we have options. And with this picking, if we go to narrow roll completely, we can forget the picking. For us to use a pull type picker in these hills, crooked fields, I think it'd be hard. We'd be running so much down.
It'd have to be stuff like what we chop. It'd have to be flat.
Yeah, and then it would be fine. We'd make it work. And again, finding a good one, I don't know. We never set out to search for one, but I think they got built more at the end of the picking era. You know, this because of the narrow roll corn. So far as we're concerned, the little bit of extra yield we may get going narrow roll, and then the other thing is spacing all our wheels on a lot of our equipment, being that we are such a steep hills. Now we gotta, you know, for planting and stuff, we might have to do some finagling there for planting and harvesting some of the corn versus the hay and stuff. So it just keep it simple.
Yeah, for sure. Shortly here, maybe tomorrow, we'll be mounting the head on.
And that's usually, it don't take long as things line up. We've done it enough times, and it'd probably take us longer to move some of the machines out of the way to get to it, but it's a matter of just locking everything. It's just, this is basically a saddle, and you'll see that when we mount it. There's a bracket that sits right in this here on each side, and it's just a matter of lining everything up just right. And once that gets on, and the back half usually slips in there pretty good, goes into these holes. You got these rollers, probably put a little grease in there so things slide. And then there's right here, there's a pin here on each side, and that's down there with the picker right now. But again, just a matter of lining up them holes, get a punch, and kind of just get them perfect. And then there's one chain right here is our drive for our there would be a sprocket about right in here somewhere for that short chain, and that's all down there. So other than that, just bring it up here and grease it up, and maybe snug up a few chains and stuff, and we're ready to go. Inexpensive.
Well, that was a nice and productive afternoon. If you guys enjoy these shop type videos here on the farm, let me know down in the comments down below, and stay tuned for some more mid-fall shop videos. I got some work to do on my planter. I'm going to be ordering some parts here soon, so stay tuned for that. We also got to put the actual picker and the whole shroud on this thing, and we also got a little bit of work to do to that MTA, so we'll see what we get filmed. But plenty of shop projects. Things never stop breaking. You always can improve on your equipment, so if you guys enjoy shop videos, let me know down in the comments. We can always film some more of those. I also want to remind you, if you haven't already, to subscribe and share, and also check us out at GierokFarms.com. You can get yourself a hat, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, whatever you want. We definitely don't expect it, but we definitely do appreciate it. It's just awesome to know that some of you would want to support us even more than you already do. But I'm going to end off the video here. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support, and we will see you all next time.